Good morning everyone. So today we will learn about the dynamic and gradual dynamics. Dynamics is referred to the volume of sound in music and help performers express their emotion and musical idea. In this lesson, we will talk about the dynamic marking, which is piano, mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte, as well as the crescendo and diminuendo. Our lesson uses the discovery learning approach. Discovery learning is a student-centered teaching method in which students actively contrast the knowledge by observing, exploring, and making connection with guidance from the teacher rather than receive information through direct instruction. The general characteristics of learner between 11 to 13 is they start to develop logical thinking, enjoy interactive learning, and able to comparing and analyze the music concept. By the end of this lesson, the students will be able to identify and differentiate the tempo marking as well as demonstrate the crescendo and diminuendo. Let's begin.
So my part is focuses on the initial discovery stage where students may explore the many different sounds before they're learning any musical terms. So listen carefully. I will perform this same pattern twice. This is the first pattern. And this is the second pattern. So I want to ask, what did you guys notice? And is there any differences? Like the first one feels softer, stronger, or any other kind of you guys can answer? Then how do you know it was louder? It was louder because there's an energetic movement, right? So the justifications for this comparison activity is to help you guys in the differences between the sound before we learn any musical terms. Okay, so for the second activity, now I want you guys to imagine you guys walking in pairs. The first person will perform and the other student, the next student will guess it. The demo is like the first person, is it soft clap or louder or it's loud? And I will ask, is it how did you know it was loud or how it was soft? And then what made it soft? And for engaging elements, you guys also can use tapping, clapping, or maybe your voice also can be like that. So the justifications for this is to encourage active learning because we want the student to be participating inside and student-centered learning.
So I'm going to focus on embodying dynamics. So first, we will play a music with a clear volume change and ask students to express the volume with their bodies. So when playing the music, they will crouch down for small piano and they will extend their body for large forte. So this helps them to discover the concept physically. So the next activity will be sound wave. So students line up and pass the sound down like a stadium wave. So each person gets slightly louder than the one before them, creating a continuous crescendo from soft to a loud forte. Reversing the direction demonstrates a decrescendo. So finally, we apply this to melodies, grouping sings a folk song together, starting soft and gradually getting louder to practice the dynamics in real music context.
So from the previous listening activities, students have discovered that music can become louder and softer. So the next step is to help them to discover how composers represent these changes in rhythm music. So I have a score right here. If you're looking at this music for the first time, what do you notice? So students may notice the letter MF, F, and P and wonder what they mean. I would ask students to predict whether these symbols represent different volume levels. Then I will demonstrate with my voice. So I will use hello to differentiate 4 different kinds of volume levels. Very soft, quiet, normal speaking voice, and loud. So hello, 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 and I will ask students to match each voices to one of these 4 symbols. So I will write these on the board, and through listening and comparing different volume levels, students discover that these symbols tell performers how loudly or softly to play. So you can tell P represent piano in Italian terms and represent soft, MP mezzo piano and it's moderately soft, and MF mezzo forte moderately loud, and F forte loud. So do you think these symbols means the music stay the same, become louder or become softer? So I will demonstrate once to the students. Students discover that the sound gradually become louder, and this is called crescendo. So now I will demonstrate another one. Loud to soft. Students discover that the music gradually becomes softer. This is called decrescendo. So rather than memorizing Italian terms, P, MP, MF, F, crescendo, decrescendo from the beginning, students first observe, compare and make prediction based on what they hear, only after they have formed their own understanding are the musical terms introduced. This follows the discovery learning approach, where students actively construct knowledge through guided exploration.
So at the end of the activities, we will give the students a small test to recap the lesson and also to facilitate their understanding on dynamics. In the end, they should be able to identify and perform dynamics without the teacher's guidance. Overall, we believe that discovering learning should be one of the best methods to teach this class. For one, gradual dynamics is hard to explain but easier to do. And second, this age group being 11 to 13, they focus on their higher order and critical thinking. So both of these factors point to the fact discovering learning is one of the best methods to teach them. That's all we have for you today. Thank you.